Welcome to Legal Marketing Minutes, where I share short bursts of current marketing news and advice. I'm your host, Nancy Merland. If we haven't met, I'm a marketing, business development, content, social, and digital media speaker, trainer, and advisor for lawyers and legal marketers in mid to large size law firms. Your time is valuable, so let's get started, okay? Today we're going to talk about the need to copy what other law firms do. And I know this is a tough one because I've been in this business a long time working in the legal profession with lawyers, and I understand that it's very easy to look at what your competitors, or really so-called competitors, are doing and saying, why aren't we doing that? Why aren't we sponsoring that event? Or why don't we have an ad in that program? Or why aren't we doing what they're doing? Why haven't we started to practice in this practice area? Because everybody else is doing it and we're going to fall behind. And you can name anything that another law firm is doing that you have that feeling about, and it could be applicable or valid in this situation. It's very easy for law firms to think that way. It's a competitive feeling, and it's a little bit of a feeling that you don't want to be the last one to do this, or you don't want to be one-upped by your competitors or other firms getting attention by doing something. Well, my word of caution to you is that I don't want you to try and copy what other law firms are doing just because they're doing it. It doesn't mean if they're doing it that it's right or it's good or even that it's working. Now think about that for a minute. Just because somebody else is doing something, whether it's an ad or it's a sponsorship or it's a new practice area, it really doesn't mean that it's working. It just means that they're doing it. You and I really don't know unless we're in-house with them or we are in their client's shoes to know if something is really working. I was in-house at what was then Baker & Daniels, which is now Faegre Baker & Daniels. And my recommendation was always, and it has been to this day, that we need to try to own that effort. We need to try to own that sponsorship, that ad space, that new practice area, that existing practice area. We need to look at it seriously to make sure that we really need to be there and not to just be another sponsor or just one of 10 names or just one of even 5 names, just to make sure that we're there or that we've said yes when a client who might be on that board of directors or that committee asks us to. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's an imperative board or ad or event for us to sponsor. And you might be surprised if you go to some clients who make those invitations, and sometimes you ask them, and this has happened, I know, I've been involved in these discussions where you say, is this really that important for us to sponsor? I mean, is it, we're looking strategically at what it is we're doing and what we're sponsoring, where we're spending dollars that our clients are entrusting to us, and we just want to make sure we make the right decision. And you would be surprised the number of times you will get the answer, no, you know what, don't worry about it. I'm on that board, so I just have to send those letters out, and it's okay with me if you don't do it. I just want them to know that I've been trying to do that, or that I've been trying to drum up these sponsorships for them. Sometimes it's important, and sometimes they will say to you, yes, it would mean a lot to me. And if this is a valued client, then by all means, take it very seriously and do it. But what I want you to do is to try to think about what it would mean if you do it and what it would mean if you don't do it, and make your decision accordingly. I would much rather see you have a major title sponsorship of an event, or a much larger or more prominent or striking presence, than just being another one of several that's listed because you thought you had to be there. Because then people don't notice you, or you have such a tiny spot in a program that you are just one of the masses and nobody's even noticing your name. And really, what good does that do other than spending your dollars? So I want you to think about all of these opportunities and to ask yourself, you know what do we have to do, depending on what kind of resources it is, and say, is it more dollars? Is it more people resources? Is it more of certain attorneys or staff resources? What would it take for us to leapfrog everyone else in this space and amplify our involvement. And one of the ways that I would recommend you do that is to say, not just spend more dollars, but is to say, what can we do to ramp up our sponsorship? And that might be that we can amplify our sponsorship by working with that organization to help amplify their message. And what might that look like? Well, that might mean that you go to the CEO of that organization or somebody who's intimately involved with it in that organization, and you say, we'd like to help you extend your message. I know we're sponsoring this event, but you know what? We'd like to help you extend your message a little bit more and interview them. You could post that interview in a number of places. You could post it on your website. It could be video, it could be audio. You could put it on Facebook Live video. You could do Facebook Live audio. You could do up to 10 minutes of a video interview. Just sit down and casually talk with them. Pre-produce it. Doesn't have to be anything stellar or professionally produced if you don't have those resources, and you could post up to 10 minutes on LinkedIn. So I want you to think about what you might do to make that effort, that sponsorship, depending on other efforts that you undertake to ramp up your sponsorship or make your ad look better. I want you to own it. I want you to leapfrog everybody else in that space. And I want you to be the one. I always want you to be the one that takes the bull by the horns and amplifies what it is that you're doing in any space. And this is an easy one. When it comes to sponsorships or advertising, you can always add a couple components to make your involvement be that much more prominent. So think about these sponsorships or these ad opportunities or whatever it might be. And think about, number one, do I really need to do these? Is it critical? Is it okay to just be one of 10 or 20 other sponsors? Is that doing us any good? Or should we save our resources and really be the title sponsor of another event? And sometimes you can trade out some of those dollars for some of these other efforts at amplifying that organization's message, the ones that I mentioned just a moment ago. Well, that's it for today's Legal Marketing Minutes Flash Briefing. Do me a favor and let me know your thoughts about this topic. You can email me at nancy@myrlandmarketing.com. That's MYRLAND marketing.com. You can always find my blog at myrlandmarketing.com as well. Also, I'd love it if you would join my Facebook group, which you can find by searching Facebook for Social Media for Lawyers and Legal Marketers with Nancy Myrland. When you do, let me know this is how you found out about the Facebook group, and I'll let you right in. Until next time, thank you so much for spending a few legal marketing minutes with me. I know your time is valuable, so I appreciate you spending a few of them with me. Until next time, I'm Nancy Myrland. Take care.